So as we saw in the Slack group, we really appreciate the fact that you are working hard on this, and we promise that we will be giving you some data. So for you to be working on your project and everything, if you are on today and by the end of the program, right now you are going into your breakout rooms, but by the end of the program, by the end of today's meeting, we hope that you will have been able to make something a game of your own or a game of your team based on things that you think personally affect you or personally affect, that you have observed in your community, or things that you have been, many of us are in the world of unpredictability. And I know in Nigeria, there are so many situations that really get you confused and you don't know what choice to make. So now is the time you can express yourself in a game, and you can also have a feel of other people's impression, so that you will know that you are not alone, or you will know that maybe you are alone. Or, you'll be able to understand what is going out there, and other people's choices, what kind of choice other people would have made if they might choose. So we're looking at you being able to build a game. It doesn't have to be like a fantastic interface and everything, though we like it that way. But for the fact that you are creating a game and putting your idea into reality, it's important. And if you're able to come up with something before the end of today's meeting, we are promising you a 5 GB data, which you will receive at the end of today's meeting. So, and that will be like 50% of what you will eventually be receiving at the end of the program. If you finish the program successfully and you have like a finished game eventually by next week, which the public can at least contribute by playing and making decision, then you have another 5 GB of data. So that's 10 gig going to you by the end of next week. There will also be awards, because people eventually, when the game go out between this week and next week, if your game is ready for public to play, people will start voting for your game and saying things about your game. So there will be an award for the most played game, which means if more people are interested in playing your game and gathering data. So by the end of next week, there will be an extra award for the most played game. So there will be like a most played game award, and your game will be published on the GitGet collaborative website for 1 year. People will keep playing it. So the link will be provided there for people, and it will be like your face and everything, your image, reputation, and that is going to be a big one for you because you become famous. So that's an award, and then on top of it, you are going to have an additional award, and it is a surprise. It will be announced next week. The exact award that you will be receiving will be announced next week. The most played game will have an award. The most rated game, right? Like when you receive a vote for your game as being highly rated, in terms of creativity, the team will, you will hear more about, you will know more about this, which we'll be sharing in the Slack group. So keep an eye on it. The most creative game, people will vote for the creativity of your game. People will vote for how natural your game is, and then how applicable is it to women issues in Nigeria. How naturally it blends with women's issue. That is the theme of our program for this year. So, and you will also receive an award ranging from data to gift card. You will receive gift card to buy anything of your choice. And some of you will also be receiving like 36 GB flash disk to store your data. And so there will be so many fun awards and things to receive. We are working it out, and the exact awards that we will be receiving will be published on the group chat or Slack. I hope I didn't leave anything out. The GaSI team, I hope it is well.
No, yeah, on point.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, any question before we break out into rooms? If you have a question, you can post it on the chat. All right, Camelia, any further?
No, I think that's it. So facilitators, you should have a link open to the examples.
And
Mhm.
Casper, do you want to show them, or I don't know if we'll be doing that in the breakout room. Do you want to show them how they can convert their game? I mean, like, what's the right word? Export their game into the new
clone.
account. Clone, yeah.
To clone.
Oh, to clone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure. Let's see. I don't have it ready right now, but it's basically, I don't know, Ukers, do you have your screen ready to
I
show?
can share my screen. Yeah, give me
Yes.
1 second.
But basically, while Ukers is setting it up, basically you need to go to a project and then click on the remix button. But
Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. Casper, you can go keep explaining. I'll do as you said.
Oh yeah, sure. Yep. So you do need to be logged in.
Oh, yeah.
So you first need to be logged in because otherwise you don't have access to certain functionalities. One of them being being able to copy or clone, and it's called remixing in StudyCrafter. So if you now go to a project, you're still not logged in.
Oh, wait. That's weird.
Okay, so now you see some buttons at the So there's a like, there's a favorite, but the remix button is the one that you need to click on. So if you click on this one, you will create a remix of this project, and that will be added towards your library of projects. So this is the way to do it. If you have any problems, just let us know and we'll try to help you out.
Okay.
And then it's important. I saw also some questions. So we have dedicated StudyCrafter accounts that we created. So some of you ended up working on your own individual account, which is fine. But we would like you to make use of your the StudyCrafter accounts that we created, because in that way we can easily help you out if there's any problems. So if you have worked on your personal account, we can give you a dedicated StudyCrafter account, and you could remix your individual project to the StudyCrafter account. One of you asked for that, and we gave a StudyCrafter account. But this is also true for others. And then once maybe the other thing you want to show, Ukers, is just adding the tag. That will probably also be useful to show again.
Yes. Oops. Didn't look there. So to add a tag to your game, you can go to your projects, which you can find in your profile over here, and then down to projects. Once you come into here, select the project that you just made. So if I click on this, you get this page again, and in here you can edit info. And you can come down and you can see the tags over here.
Yep. And we will add a tag, and then all the different that we will let you know what tag you need to choose, and all the games will be shown at this page. So I just put that in the chat. That's where all the different games that you've created will be showcased. So in that way, we can share this to the public. You can also play each other games. They will all be demonstrated and showcased at one single page. So that's it. So I think if there are no other questions around that, we can go into the breakout rooms. There will be StudyCrafter experts there too. So if you have any issues as you're working on StudyCrafter, we can answer those questions as well.
Okay, and again, if people can't find the breakouts listed and you need help, just let us know where you want to go and we can move you there manually. So facilitators, if you need the links again to share, I'm just going to put the in the Zoom chat again. So these are the, you might be gone already. These are the examples. And the other thing is here, this is the Teams and passwords spreadsheet. And I guess we'll just let people go on, take breaks as needed. Is that right?
Yeah. And if you need help with anything at all, you see those of us with either a background with a GaSI boot camp background or facilitator in front of our names, just send us a private message, any one of us, or post a public message. If you need help with anyone, connect with anything at all, connect with any one of us. Facilitators, please put facilitator in front of your name so that they can easily recognize you.
I see, I forgot to do that.
Including my very self.
Yes. Done.
We know we have some very new people here, maybe 1, 2, or 3 new people.
Okay.
Maybe we can just assign the new people with a direct facilitator, like one-on-one. So if you are new, can you either send a private message to me or just say new, post it publicly? If you are shy about it, you can just send me a private message. If you are new, so that we can connect you to a one-on-one tutor, facilitator that will bring you to the level you need to be today. Okpemiko is saying that browser could not allocate enough memory for WebGL. Studycrafter, is there anything you can?
Sorry, there was not enough memory?
Yeah, it says that the browser could not allocate enough memory for the WebGL. Someone is sharing that message.
Yeah, that can happen. So just what you can do is try to do a hard reload of the website, and that could
Or maybe
potentially
use a different browser. If you are not using Chrome, you can try with Chrome or change your browser to another browser, Chrome or Firefox or something different.
Yeah, can you send the message to me, Yutunda? I can also forward it to
I think the message is public. Let me forward it again.
Yeah. Okay.
8:41 a.m. That's when it's listed. Let me forward it to you.
What did you say? Hello. Yes. So for Abdul Karim, for your game, I think it's very similar. It's just a little bit different than what you want to make actually, right? So I think you can see a lot of points that for example, what we think about Richard. Do you think he's spoiled? No, Richard, the rich kid is not spoiled. No? Okay. So why do you think he is not spoiled? What actions does he made during the game made you think that? He was dedicated to study and was enough to appreciate his parents. But actually, yes, that's true. But for example, the last scene where he says like, nothing handed me on the plate. I have to work hard for it. So for example, for me, it suggests that he is spoiled because he doesn't realize how much things handed to him. That's why, for example, Abdul Karim, your message about bullying, they don't know. They don't know how much things they handed to them. And when the other people don't have, they think they have the same resources they have. And since they think they have the same resources they have, if they not
your study crafter account. I just sent you your study crafter account and your password, and you could also easily find it in our common spreadsheet. I will share a link with you. Mercy said she's in a quite busy place, so might not be able to work on study crafter right now, but she will work on it afterwards. Oh, okay. Farami said this is their first session so far, so we might need to share some additional information. And Mercy, feel free to post some story ideas, because last time I think we brainstormed really solid questions, and if you have any particular stories in mind, you could post in the chat and everyone can help you brainstorm. Okay. So Farami, if you can you hear us clearly, or do you prefer typing? Okay, awesome.
Later.
Okay. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I'll just do that to the whole group.
Okay.
Interesting to explore. Hey, Falaji, or Yetunde. Get mixed up with people's first and last names now. I think they're like different naming conventions that I need to get used to.
Yeah.
We just went through a lot of ideas for what could be gender-related questions in workplaces, but we haven't heard yet from Susan and Adesewa what they think. So I wonder if we can, if in the chat you want to share or out loud if you're able, if you can let us know if any of the ideas resonated with you, or if you had a completely different idea you wanted to pursue and we were way off track, or if you want to hear more ideas about a particular question. Oh no, Adesewa, you're just arriving. You missed all of that stuff.
Adesewa, did you do any, did you start any game privately before? Did you design anything at all?
With check-ins at the beginning, it seems that both Susan and Adesewa said they were busy this past week, so they weren't able to get into Study Crafter.
Maybe we can just create, let them log into a Study Crafter account, one of the accounts to start with, and then start creating something at least. From there, we can also log in to follow up with them. So it's not too late. We have someone just joining for the first time today, and they're already, yeah. Yes, Adesewa, if you have like an idea that's, something within your thoughts that you want to implement in a game, I think if you now log into the Study Crafter account, it will be easy for you to start picking up the bits and pieces and putting it in your game.
I think, Adesewa, you had said that you had 2 questions that you were between. If you want to just share those in the chat, maybe we can go based off of that. Feel more comfortable with a female nurse or a female doctor rather than a male, and it's because they're more more motherly or more caring or something of that nature. I was like, that's interesting. I usually choose female because I am a female and I'd rather have,
Yeah.
I feel a little bit more secure in having that relationship with another female rather than
Same.
having like a male doctor and then feeling like something's off about the
Yeah.
interaction.
Mhm.
Or will you hire a pregnant woman that is as qualified as a non-pregnant woman when you interview,
Mhm.
knowing that the pregnant woman will soon go on maternity leave or
Mhm.
yeah.
And so I feel like if we can narrow in on a particular question like that, we can start to develop a story around it and think more in detail about
Yeah.
how do you create the situation so that the player feels like they're in it and the choice feels like it's real and has a kind of makes them pause a little bit.
So Adeshewa and Susan, if you can narrow down all these ideas and look at what will excite you to put in your game, and then we can help you to profile it in the game. Like if you can narrow it down, think about something that you will flow with when you are designing your game. You can share it on the chat, and then we can give you an account of Study Crafter and help you to profile that idea into your game so that you can have something to be busy with for the rest of the week. Yes.
I'm going to go
Okay.
to another breakout room just to see them all, but we wanted to end at 10, right? Just to give you an idea of
Yes, I think we should end. I mean, we should bring people back to the main room maybe 10 minutes before it is 10. So that, because I think Caspar still want to share something about variables and such things with them. Yeah. And
Okay.
he thinks we should also show one of the games that the participants have already made.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you all have like 7 minutes left. Is that the message we
Yes, something
share?
like
Okay.
that.
Okay.
So
All
I
right.
will just chat to everyone to let
I
them.
wanted to show the variables. I showed this to some other folks already, but yeah, I can do that. 1 second, I'm just trying to see if this work. 1 second, I'm just use my. Okay, let me see if this should work. Okay, let me share my screen. Screen overview projects. Okay, here we go. All right, can people see my screen? Oh wait,
Yes.
is this my study crafter screen? I'm not sure what screen. Oh, 1 second. I want to make sure
Yeah, we were seeing your study crafter screen.
Oh, okay. All right. All right, here we go. All right, so we're in my study crafter screen. So here's my account with different projects, and I'm going to do the simple experiment first. So it's completely empty here, as you can see, because it's just purely based on the scriptor. I'll just go around this. And what I did is, and because some people ask me, I want to create different conditions where one person goes left, the other person goes right. How does that work? How can we get that established? So the simplest way is that just to do that with a branch. So here is a dialog. Hello, how are you doing? And then I insert a branch, and the branch has a random and a regular if then. If you just want people to go one way or the other, so left or right, or if you create an experiment, you have a control condition, an experimental condition, it doesn't really matter. It just, you want people to go into different situations, right? That's really what this is about. So we put in random, and then you can have multiple situations, but in this case, I just choose 2, so random 1 and random 2, and I move them to a different situation. Now, if you want to record what situation people are in, you need to record that because you're collecting data. So you want to know what people have, what situation they were in. So if you want to record because you're collecting data, what situation people are in, you would need to use variables. So I added here a variable called condition and assigned what situation they're in. So if they go through random 1, they're in the control condition. If they go through random 2, they're in the experimental condition. And the nice thing, what you can do with these variables is that you could add them here as in the text. So here you can see that I say I'm the condition. Doesn't make any sense, of course, when you read it like this, but you will see that once we play it, this will be replaced by this value here, because I assigned the people in this situation, the condition of the variable would be called experimental. So this is just a very simple way. And here you can see the variables. And I just, in this case, I just use the scripting variables to create a condition, but you can also use the research variables to create one. It doesn't really matter. Either one works, but you do need to create a variable first to be able to use one. So if you create a variable, you just give it a name here, and then you need to assign what kind of value type it is. So float and integers are numbers related. String is text. Boolean is basically yes, no, 0, 1. So that means what kind of variables you want to create. And I can just quickly show you how that then looks like. So hello, how are you doing? I'm in the control condition. So here you see that the text is replaced. Now, this is random, so every time I can play it, I might keep being in the control condition, but you will see, oh, I got very lucky. 50% chance, I'm now in the experimental condition. So you see how this works here. Now, that's for this one. And I want to go back to my projects. And then I want to show another one, which is experiment 2, which is a little bit more complicated. Because what I did here is, and again, I try to not add too much noise to the background. But what I did here is I added 3 conditions, so 3, and this is based on what one of the participants was working on with regards to career and what your relationship status, how that could impact your career. So in this case, we start with, can you tell me your relationship status? And we put people into different conditions. So in this case, one condition could be that you're single, one that you're in a relationship, and one that you're married. So in this case, you see that there's 3 ones, and you can add even more by add another. And if this ends, if you want to have 20 conditions, which I will encourage you not to do so, then you could even add multiple branches. So what I did here is that if you have a variable here, you could use another branch to check in what variable people are in. So here I'm using the branch to assign people to variables. And here I'm using the branch to check in what variable they're in. And that could be useful because sometimes you want to have people go into different situations. You may also want to measure something. So that's what I did here. So here you can see if you're in the condition single, then this happens, or this happens, or that happens. So that's what I set up here. So we can just and that's it. And obviously, if I play this again, you'll see this again. Oh, I probably, okay, I forgot an N. Okay, see, now it's working. Okay, so this is how this is all working. And I had created another one that I was working on, but I'll share that later. Let me see if I can go back. And I will share that later on. So this is a remix. And what I try to do here is, aside from I was trying to also measure progress. So progress and condition. So it's basically what you want to do is that once you set up a situation, you not only want to assign people to potentially different areas that they can move towards to, but you also want to measure something. So in this case, you want to see how your relationship status is potentially impacting progress. So progress is basically what's called the dependent variable, or the measure, the outcome that you want to extract from the whole experience. And the independent variable, the variable that you're using to change what people are working on, that is basically the condition, whether you are single, married, or in a relationship. So this is basically the same setup. So again, same setup, you're single, relationship, or married. But what I added here is that there's a player choice, and I had a simple choice with has a prompt. Are you happy in your career? Yes, a bit, no. And then based on these responses, I added what kind of impact it has on the dependent variable. So in this case, the dependent variable is progress, and I said that the progress variable is a range of 0 to 100. So here I added 20, 10, and 0. And then I ended up saying, this is progress. It's not the right way to put it. I need to tweak it a little bit. But let's do this. And oh wait, see, this is the thing that you need to do. You need to double check, debug your experiment, because there's always going to be issues, even for somebody who's familiar with it. Okay. Are you happy in your career? Yes, no, a bit. Well, let's choose a bit. And this is 10, because as you remember, the reason why it says it is 10, because here you saw I chose a bit, and a bit has progress assigned to 10. And then I ask here, this is progress, so this is 10. So that's what happens here. So if I say yes, what should be the answer here? If people paid attention, what should, if I click this, what should appear after this? I'm checking. Ah, yes, somebody has been paying attention. Yes, okay, awesome. This is 20. All right, so that's basically how you can play around with variables. I mean, there's a lot of things you can explore and do, but this is sort of like the basic setup. I shared the 2 experiments that I just showed, and this third one I will share as well. So you can take a look at it, what I've done. You can copy something, and if you're struggling with something in particular, just please let us know. The biggest issue that will appear is if you forget to actually create variables, but the project will also show this. So like if you set a variable and you say just something, you see here that it says does not exist. So you need to create it. So if you created just something, and well, we just make it an integer, it doesn't matter. And now it appears. But that's one of the biggest issues that we've seen, is that people don't really define their variables, which is what you need to do. So that's what I wanted to quickly show, Yatinda. Hopefully that was useful. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Caspar. That's very helpful. Does anyone have any question? Okay. And of course, you know how to connect with us. Facilitators are always eager to help on Slack and on WhatsApp. We know you are working hard on your project, and we are really proud of what you are doing. Even if you are just joining, we appreciate that. And I just shared on the chat the recordings for day 1 and day 2. Day in the context is like our day 1 is our days are each Saturday that we meet, but we follow up virtually on Slack through the week. So day 1 is the first Saturday, day 2 is the second Saturday, and today is day 3. And we're also recording this in order to share with you so that you can help yourself. Like if you want to watch this, Casper's the variable training, and so you can still get through to the video. Once it's ready, we'll share the link and you can watch it. So and before we wrap up today, wrapping up means that you will still keep working on your project. And if anyone still want to stay behind, some of the facilitators can still be here. I will still be here maybe for a couple of minutes or hour to just, especially for people that are just joining, just to make sure that you start a game and then you can keep working on it. So submit, there is no official submit, Chim Kashima. There is no official submit because you should be working with the Study Crafter account. The facilitators have access to that account. The facilitators have access to that account, and we will be working with you to make sure that your game is working fine. If you are stuck, we can log in and look at it and help you to fix any issue that you are having. And the official submit is that we already have your submit because we have the account anyway. So, but most importantly, if you already have a game that is in a playable state, you can now start telling people to play it. Share with your family just the link for playing. Let them play it and share with your friends, brag about it, put it on your social media, let people start playing it, and then you will start already collecting data, because next week will be all about data. Next week will be all about data. By next week, we're hoping that we will help you to polish your game, and then you can keep on collecting data forever, because next week the expert will be teaching you how to analyze your data. So work hard on your game, have a playable state of your game. And we also made a promise that today, if you already have a game that can be played, if you already have a game that can be played, and I will continue to chat. We will continue to chat on WhatsApp. And I will also want to be gracious. I would want to extend it till the end of day in Nigeria so that people can relax. You won't feel too much under pressure. But if you already have a playable game by the end of the day, 11:59 p.m. Nigerian time tonight, then you will get your 50, not 50 gigabytes. No, that's scary. You will get your 5 gigabytes of data. As promised, you will get your 5 gigabytes of data. Everybody gets data at the end of the program, so don't be angry if you don't have data now. Everybody gets at least 5 gigabytes at the end of the program. But today, by the end of the day, if you already have something going and your project is playable, your game is playable, then we will support you with what we call a data grant of 5 gigabytes. We know you have been using data, and we are proud of the fact that you are able to even use your data and find a way. So we are giving you 5 gigabytes of data if you have a game going by the end of the day tonight, Nigerian time. And if you don't have a game going yet, don't worry, you still have 1 more week to work on it. And by the end of next week, if you already have a game and you have your 5 gigabytes today, you will have an additional 5 gigabytes by next week, by next Saturday, additional 5 gigabytes. And even if you don't have something at all today, be rest assured that you will have at least 5 gigabytes come what may. Some of you will be having 10, some of you will be having 5, depending on how hard you are working and how much game you have. And eventually, like I said, on our website, we will post it, and also on the WhatsApp group, about some extra swag for people that are going extra miles. For example, most played games, most voted or most highly rated games, the list will be shared with you. And if you want any clarification, you can check with me or any of the facilitators privately at the Geek Girls Collaborative WhatsApp group. Any question? Did I leave out anything? It can be privately, it can be publicly. that you can share with me on WhatsApp or any of the facilitators? Camelia, Caspar, you want to add anything?
I don't have anything to add right now, but we'll send a follow-up message with any links and reminders and a little summary in case that's helpful.
Yeah, and I just want to emphasize that if people will run into trouble with StudyCrafter, we're here to support you. So just reach out to us over Slack or message anybody on WhatsApp, and they will find us and we'll try to help you out.
Okay, I have some message. What if our game is ready? If your game is ready, we will know because we have your account and you can send the message, share the message on Slack and let us know the link to your game if you want anybody to play it. And if you want, like any of the participants can play your game. So we will start by play testing each other's game and making comments on how you can refine it or how you can make it better. Yes, reach out on Slack. Reach out on Slack in the education group. Wonderful. So we have people that already shared their projects. And so we will follow up on Slack and share them in the Slack participants group so that we can begin to play and let you know how we feel and let you know how you can even improve it before the next meeting. Yes, reach out on Slack. Great, okay. Awesome. All right, thank you so much. Next week, bear in mind that it is going to be 3 hours because we have so many things to do and of course we have to party. So, so next week, hopefully, if we have games and people are playing your game, then next week we will learn how to collect data and how to analyze your data. And we will also we are hoping that if you move at a good speed, we will also be able to talk about how you can even analyze your data, how you can use some machine learning algorithms to make some sense out of your data. So, and we know data is something that is continuous. We're not expecting you to have so much data by next week, but that you now continue. It's your game, it's your project, people can remix it, etc. But you can always, like when you begin to get so many data, you can always do so many nice things, make some interpretation analysis, or even publish a paper. Like that might be the beginning of your future of research as a researcher. So that might be the beginning of your future being like, we all researchers here, we want to have like a rebirth of or reincarnate ourselves using this group so that you can also take up the research business starting from StudyCrafter. All right. Thank you so much. I think we can officially call it a day if I am right.
It looks like some new people might not be on Slack already. So if you're not, would you reach out to one of the facilitators and we can make sure to add you?
Yes, I think I added, I mean, Caspar just needs to approve. They probably have been.
Okay.
I am the one who's holding up.
Apparently.
Okay.
Okay, so
All
you
right.
should be added soon.
Okay, Geek facilitators, please let's meet as planned after this event.
All right, we'll see you, everybody.